Hey everyone, today I want to take a look at the High Renaissance in Venice. We've been taking a look at the major artistic principles and artists in Rome and Florence, and I want to take a look at how these have transcended throughout Italy and focus our attention today on these ideas in Venice, mainly focusing on Giorgione and his artistic principles. Not really much is known about his personal life except for a passing passage in Vasari's The Lives of the Artists, and so we don't really know much about him. We do assume that in 1505 he came in contact with Leonardo when Leonardo visited Venice that year, and so we do assume that there were some of those ideas traveling from Florence over here, and he became a little bit familiar with them. But I want to take a look at two of his works that have baffled art historians and why they baffle them, and I'll kind of turn it over to you to see what you make of them. This one, The Tempest, is just a little bit, it's super interesting because I have no idea what it's really about, right? And it's baffled art historians since its creation, right? It's mentioned for the first time in 1508, and it states that it's about a soldier at the very far left and a gypsy woman at the far right, right? However, the man is not a soldier. That's not a spear he's carrying, it's a staff. And so he's not really a soldier. Maybe he's a shepherd, don't really know. And the woman is not really a gypsy. Here she stops and she feeds her child. And so the question is, what is it about? Is it Mary and baby Jesus? Is this kind of like another rendition of that theme? And this person is perhaps the one on the left-hand side is John the Baptist, or some kind of Roman centurion or something. It's not really clear. It could be that the woman is Aphrodite, and that's Cupid. And so this more is a message of love, but we don't really know. But we've seen ideas like this before. We see the ideas of withdrawing from civilization. We see the inclination or the illusion of civilization in the background with the buildings. And then we see the mother and child withdrawing into the woods for momentary peace and solace. But again, it's not really very clear. This is more of a secular image, and it stands in stark contrast to Raphael's focused devotion to religious imagery. Here, what we see is he depicts the focus of daily life rather than religious imagery, right? He's celebrating humanity and the things of the world. But it's hard not to think about Raphael's works that are apart from the world, right? This idea of withdrawing to isolation to find solace here. The suggestion perhaps is anyone can be able to find this same kind of peace and serenity if they're able to withdraw enough from the evil influences of quote unquote civilization, right? And so there's some influence that we see there, but it also suggests that we're not really sure what it's about. It's an interesting image. It's great in and of itself, and it's powerful in the fact that it keeps us coming back and keeps us wondering. But we can also see some earlier influence of a previous Venetian painter, Bellini, with St. Francis in Ecstasy, with the same use of color palette, the same use of lighting, the same use of style. We can see some of that stylistic influence that is prominent, becomes prominent in Venice, and Giorgione picks up on that and carries the mantle. So he's influenced by Leonardo, he's influenced by past Venetian painters, he's influenced by Raphael, and so he's bringing all of this together. This is the other image that I wanted to show you of Giorgione. This is the Pastoral concert, and this too is curious. It's about a concert in nature where you have a lute player, the man in the center, and then to our right is a woman playing the flute, which is a little bit interesting because at the time it was looked down upon for women to play the flute or woodwinds in general because of disfiguring the face, or people felt that it disfigured the face. So her face is turned away from us, interestingly. But it's also a little bit unclear because the women are not wearing any clothes, but the men are. And so that's an interesting illusion. Perhaps these two are goddesses, and so this is kind of the ascension to the divine, or the divine interacting with the physical world. And so this kind of Neoplatonic connection between the physical world and the and the eternal realm. Perhaps that's what it is. The other woman is drawing a picture from a well. And then you have this kind of curious interaction here of this farmer and his dog walking through, kind of looking on, trying to interact with them, but they seem to be oblivious. And so, again, it's a similar idea that we've seen before of this mention of withdrawing from nature to find some type of connection, to find some type of peace, to abstain from nature. But it's a little bit different. So in some ways, it might be more in line with Leonardo's Mona Lisa, where we have the emphasis on the physical world being able to transcend into the eternal world, as long as you have some type of desire to do so, or some type of quality or yearning to be able to connect. And so perhaps what Giorgione is saying with this kind of curious work is we can transcend the physical world if we can withdraw ourselves and focus on the higher elements. But again, it's very similar to Raphael, suggesting that we can find peace and serenity, but it's only through isolation from the pain, afflictions, the sufferings of the world around us. And so where Raphael's works are spiritual or religious escapism, perhaps Giorgione's is more in line with secular escapism, of withdrawing from the world and just escaping from the problems rather than dealing with them head on.